The other thing is you got to get your education. If you don't get your degree, you can't do what I do. You know, it's just you got to be qualified. And football is such a small part. So many guys focus on the ball while you're in the moment of college, which is something else that we try to teach. We all know that. We know how small 4 or 5 years is. It's such a small window of our lives, brief moment. And, you know, I try to teach these guys to exhaust the moment. Like, just get every ounce of everything that you can get out of this moment, small moment in your life. You know, football is going to end. Some of these guys will play a little bit longer, but not long. And, you know, but the networking, the relationships, establishing your core values on what you're going to live your life on, those are the things that are going to matter. So that's what I would say.
Dabo, you said you're going to roll with Hugel. You've obviously been rolling with him all season long. How has your comfort level grown with him since he was put in this situation to start the season?
Are you kidding? He made All-American. So he wasn't even on the roster. And it's funny, we showed I don't know who did it, but we do a little video of the day about every day. And one of the video of the days was a video game, like they had taken a video game and Clemson, Oklahoma had played. And it was hilarious. The guys watching themselves, but the guy that made the field goal was Lacob. So, you know, I've been kidding Hugel. I said, well, you got to be on the roster in the summer to get on the video game. So he wasn't even on the video game, but he made All-American. So my comfort level's pretty good.
Hey, Dabo, David Hale with ESPN.com. TreVon's a guy who has not necessarily had the hugest role throughout the year. I know he made that big catch against South Carolina. As his role potentially gets bigger here in the playoff, what have you seen from him throughout the course of the year that gives you confidence he's ready to take on that role?
Great player. Got every attribute that's why we recruited him. He's incredibly talented, gifted receiver, just another one of those guys that we have. And he's just a freshman. He's had some big moments for us. But he's been one of those guys that has improved, you know, each and every week, to be honest with you. He's just been a steady guy, redshirted last year, wasn't quite ready to make the transition. And but, boy, he's had an excellent fall for us and is going to have a bright future. Very capable of making any play that we need. That's why he was in there on 3rd and 8, probably the biggest play, one of the biggest plays of the season there at the end in that South Carolina game. And got all the confidence in the world in him.
Dabo, Jeff Fischel from the ACC Digital Network. I'm curious, as Deion emerged as a deep threat for Deshaun, what was Deshaun's reaction to learning that Deion wouldn't be available to him? And I guess how does that fit into the way Deshaun reacts to any and all situations? No reaction. Just went to practice. Just more balls for Sharon. You know, we just rotate those guys, but it just means Sharon's going to play more snaps. And that's our starter, so we'll be okay.
Dabo, Bonnie Bernstein, Campus Insiders, just following up on what Jeff asked. If you were to foresee a guy among your receiver corps who could really make a difference in Deion's absence as a deep threat, who do you hope that will be?
Sharon Peake. Same guys.
Not named Sharon.
Well, that's not possible because they play the same position. Sharon's the starter and Deion's the backup. And they play the same spot. So it's really, we just have rotated those guys. You know, Deion's been the backup and a lot of his opportunities just because he's been in the game where we rotate the guys. So this just means that Sharon will play more snaps and he's certainly capable to do that. And then TreVon will back him up. But, you know, Artavis has made plenty of plays down the field. Hopper's made plays down the field. Renfro's made plays down the field. I don't think we have anybody. Leggett's made plays down the field. We don't have anybody on our roster that we've been playing that haven't made plays. TreVon's made plays.
Matt Connolly with the State newspaper. Mackenzie Tag to some success going up against some really good receivers this year. Just what are your thoughts on that matchup and him going up against Sterling Shepard?
Tough matchup. He's got his hands full. Great player. You know, got a chance to study him a lot last year and really thought he was a gifted receiver last year going into that game. Shifty, strong guy, excellent ball skills, great ability to, run after the catch. He's a very talented guy. I think he's top 10 in the country right now in touchdowns. So he's got his hands full. Going to be a battle right there. That's what you expect. I mean, it's Final Four. There's no weaknesses on either one of these teams. These are whatever 11 run out there on the field, they're all good players, and on both sides. So it'll be great matchups everywhere.
Dabo, Robbie Tinsley with the Journal. Can you quantify how much healthier this team is than when they played 4 weeks ago against UNC?
I don't know that I can quantify it, but I think we're really, really healthy. We're in great shape physically. We're going to be a fast football team. I like where we are as far as our injury report and all that type of stuff, but I can't really quantify it. I know we played 10 straight games, and that just kind of you just go. You don't really worry about it. You just go get ready for the next game and do the best you can. But certainly has been great having some time off. These guys getting their legs, and I think we've practiced really smart. The guys feel good about the plan, and now we just got to go execute it.
Dabo, Brian Brinkley, KFOR TV, NBC in Oklahoma City. What sticks out to you about Oklahoma's defense this year compared to last year?
Well, they just thought they were really tough against the run last year, and it's really not much different. 9 of the 11 are back. I just think that they've executed very cleanly. They messed around a little bit with a 4-man front early part of the year, and they kind of scrapped that and went back to their Okie front, which is kind of what they're built for. But they're better on the back end than I thought they were last year. Just again, more experience, more confidence in what they're doing, and they've done a heck of a job. They're really difficult to run the ball on. They always outnumber you in the box. So you got to be creative in how you run the ball, and you have to stay patient. But they're not much different. I thought they were really good last year defensively as well.
All the way in the back.
Kevin Ward, Sports Animal Radio in Tulsa. Coach, have you had to use any Jedi mind tricks with your team given what you did to Oklahoma last year?
Jedi mind tricks. Is that Star Wars? Okay. No Jedi mind tricks. Maybe you got one for me? I'm open to all suggestions. No, I mean, last year's game just has nothing to do with this game. I mean, it really doesn't. We have great respect for Oklahoma. We talk about that all the time as far as last week's tackles and touchdowns and all that stuff. Sacks don't win this week. And certainly last year's performance isn't going to win this year. Different teams. Every game is a game and a season of its own. It really is. They turned the ball over 5 times against us, and we're a good team. That's not going to be a pretty result. If we turn the ball over 5 times, it's not going to be a pretty result. So that's just the way that game was that day. Really not indicative of the talent. The talent is very similar, and that's why they've come back and had a great year this year, and they're in the Final Four. So our guys, the one thing, young guys and these football players, these guys are smart. This is what they do. They understand ball, and when you put the film on, they know who can play, and they know who's not quite as good a player pretty quickly. And all you got to do is put the film on, and Oklahoma will get your attention in every area. They really don't have a weakness. They're really good all over the field. Punter does it all for them. Kicks, punts, does everything. So good solid team, and it shows on film.
Far right over.
Kirk Bowles from the Austin American. There's been a lot of consternation over the targeting rule this year and maybe last year as well. Are you in favor of it as it is now, or do you think it needs to be tweaked in any way?
No, I think it needs to be tweaked. And, I'm actually on one of them committees where I get a chance to kind of talk about some of those things, but I do think it needs to be tweaked. I think that it has worked in that it's cut down and it's cleaned up a lot of what they were trying to get rid of. I don't think there's any question about that. I think it's had a great effect on the game and making the game safer and eliminating those type of plays. But I think from time to time, I think there should be a little bit more opportunity in the review process. That's where I think that needs to be tweaked a little bit.
Down the middle? No? Okay. Right over here on your left. Go ahead.
Myron Patting at Fox 25 right here, Coach. Now that the week is kind of winding down, did you do anything different handling this bowl game, seeing how it's a playoff, and you hope you have another game next week? Did you do anything different compared to your other bowl games in the past?
No, we prepared the same. I mean, we're not guaranteed another game, so we better put everything we got into this game. That's what got all these people coming up to me. Hey, man, I've already booked my tickets to Arizona. I'm like, well, you better get them to Miami. I mean, we got to win this game, and so that's all our focus has been. If we're fortunate enough to win the game and have a chance to play again, well, we got plenty of time to get ready for that. Well, we got 10 days or whatever. Most weeks you got about 3.5 days to really get your plan in. So, if we're fortunate enough to win it, coaches will be back in the office on Sunday, players will be in on Monday, and we'll be rolling. We'll have about 2 or 3 extra days of actual prep time than we would normally have in a game week. So we'll worry about that then. Our focus has really been 100% on trying to win this game, and we've prepared exactly the same as we have in our past bowls as far as how we get our team ready, the combination of good on good Clemson work, game prep versus the opponent, and then getting really spending time with our young players and trying to develop them for spring practice. And then I think we've had a really tight itinerary down here. We didn't get here till the night of the 26th. We had practice in Clemson that morning, which was really good. And when we've not been meeting or practicing, and we've had something that we need to be plugged into, we've been engaged in that. And I think it's important. The Orange Bowl folks do an unbelievable job, and they work really, really hard to create a great event. And I think it's important that we participate. We had the FCA breakfast yesterday morning. I think they had Dave and Buster's last night. So we've done the things that have been on our itinerary, but today is about getting locked in. And, these guys have kind of had their normal process as far as how we prepare. We just keep them dialed in on, okay, hey, today's a team Thursday. Today's Focus Friday, and so they can mentally kind of stay in the same routine.
Dean Blevins, News 9. Coach, you have great fans. You're closer than Oklahoma. You'll have a crowd advantage. Have you guys talked about that, and what do you expect?
No, we haven't talked about that, but I expect we'll have a great crowd. I'd be shocked if we don't. Wherever we go, we have a great crowd, so our guys know that. But no, we hadn't spent any time talking about the crowd. I mean, that doesn't really matter. I mean, we spend all of our time on talking about how we play, and that's it.
All right, last question over here.
Hi, good morning again.
Morning.
You told a great story. I hadn't really intended to ask this question. You told a great story about how you were led to know this was your moment by faith. And I'm just curious. Arian Foster kind of created a little bit of a stir last year when he said he was an atheist. If in your recruiting of an athlete, of a kid, and he came to you at one point and said, I respect you, but I don't believe in God, would he still have a spot in your program that, I'm not saying he ran a 4.34, but I mean just in general.
Absolutely. Our job is to win football games, and we're going to always recruit and play the best football players. That's an easy question. We don't play the best Christians. I've said that many times. If we were playing the best Christians, I wouldn't be sitting here. I can guarantee you that. But as a Christian, I love everybody. I really do. I don't judge other people. I think it's important that everybody they can be who they want to be. I just know how I'm called to live my life, and and I try to be consistent with that. You know, be who you are. Whoever you are, whatever you are, be who you are. I've coached a bunch of atheists, I'm sure, along the way, a ton. So, no, it wouldn't have anything to do with it.